Hello students, welcome back, and today we are going to continue our revision series. Previously we did until question number 8 about car velocity and so on, and this for today we are going to learn this question, and this question is actually a very common question, correct or not? This is a very common question, and I believe that you guys already see it many times, and you will also need to learn this from 4 from 5, and basically the concept is the same lah, the concept is the same. You still need to know the whole thing, and when you know the whole concept, then you can answer the question. If you don't know what is this, then you will feel very hard to do. So usually this one is to test to test the position for element P. I thought this one is the smoking one. If you see the smoking one also is something like this. Only they just need to put a smoke here, correct or not? They need to put a smoke here, and they want to test whether it got tar. This tube will be make sure that it got tar, and there's a thermometer to know that the temperature of the smoking is high, and one more is what to test that the smoke is acidic. But for this one, as we read the question, we know that is to determine the position of reactivity series. So what is reactivity series? If you still remember reactivity series, so it starts from the most reactive metal to the non so reactive metal to down. So what this one you should memorize a bit lah. It's best to memorize all lah, but if you memorize it, then it will be good. And this reactivity series, whether you want to memorize or not, you still need to know until when you are from 4, you also need to do. From 5, you also need to do. So basically you just need to memorize. You still need to memorize a series of reactivity. If you don't memorize now, means you will remember it before SPM exam. So it's still the same thing. So it's better to remember now, and I'm going to ask you pause the video and to let me know the reactivity series of metal. Okay, potassium, sodium, then calcium, then
magnesium,
not enough space. Magnesium, then aluminium, then carbon, then zinc, then hydrogen, iron, tin, lead, copper, mercury, silver, gold. Yep. So basically this one you need to remember from potassium until here. Usually I remember by you also need, from when you go to from 4 from 5, you need to remember the charges as well, the element symbol and the charges. So you still need to know it. Usually I don't, you can Google it lah. There are many ways to remember it, but last time my teacher taught me, I can remember until now, is kalau nak cari makanan ada zat besi, susah pun harus cuba. This is what I usually I remember. Kalau nak cari tu plus makanan ada zat zinc, besi is ferrum lah, Fe, susah sternum tin, pun Pb plumbum lead, harus cuba. Okay, this one is copper. Then this one is HgAuAg, okay, mercury, silver, gold. This one I think is hydrogen. Hydrogen. Okay, so you can remember by the name, or you create yourself lah, it's better lah. If you can create your own story, then it will be better, because this story is you create yourself. It's different from following other people, because when you create the story by yourself, usually it is you're using your left and right brain. It's something like you are telling a story. So when you tell a story, usually you remember what you tell. So yeah, but basically what we need to common question they ask is this one. Why I cannot highlight one? Wait, let me take back my pencil. Usually for metal reactivity, usually they will ask this, okay? And for down here, they can ask a few questions when you go to form 4, form 5, either they will ask about electric, okay? For example, here to here will have less electric, here to here will have more electric, for example. For electrolysis, displacement, and so on. So this is very important for many topic, okay? Many topic you still need to use this thing. So roughly we know lah, we even we haven't do the experiment, we know that potassium is the most reactive, and aluminium is lesser reactive. Of course, gold is totally not reactive. If gold reactive, no people want to buy gold. The reason we buy gold because it is not reactive, it cannot spoil, it is shiny, and it's very difficult to get. Your gold is let's say in the world there is 1 million ton, means there is 1 million ton, no more and no less. That is the goal. But if you can get the gold, then good lah. In the ocean, actually there's a lot of gold. You can go Google it. In every 1 liter of water, actually I think it contain like 0.001% in the ocean. So but you know lah, the ocean got unlimited water, so it's like million ton of gold dissolved in the ocean. And if you can take the gold out, then you find a method to take it in a cheaper way, then you will be the richest person in the world, because you can get the ocean to give you gold. But of course got people try to do this lah, they use electrolysis or something like that lah, but the gold you get is lesser than the money that you pay for the electric, so you need use electric to get the gold. So there, but it's a very good experiment lah. They still get the gold from the ocean, it's just not worth the time and the energy, the electric energy that I'm saying that they put in. Okay, so this is very reactive, and this one you need to know lah. Potassium, if you put in the water, usually it will jump, it will be very reactive. There will be a hiss sound and so on. And the lesser, maybe calcium, it will be maybe a bit of bubble, lesser reactive than potassium. So roughly you need to know this one. The fire, maybe here will burn more, here will be burn less. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, so there we put the diesel, we put a sulfuric acid and copper sulfate. This is the metal Q, he didn't say. Then there's a gas P. Let me think, is this question they put the metal here? Oxide metal. Okay, so let's see the whole. When we look at the picture, we should able to understand the picture lah. We should able to know why they want to put this and why. Usually, if you remember the last time experiment we do, I mean in the textbook, if I'm not mistaken, that is something like this. They just give something like this, and this is the metal to test the reactivity of the metal. This is something to produce the hydrogen, and we observe the fire. Correct or not? We just see the fire. I cannot put. We observe the fire, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then let's say 1 is potassium, we say burn brightly, and then this one burn moderate, and this one is glowing. If you still remember the textbook, when we are talking, one of the way we can measure the reactivity of metal by uh, burning it, correct or not? That is in the experiment. Or let's us be more creative. We don't want to use this. How do you know that the metal is more reactive? Okay, so let's say the question I asked, how to test the reactivity of metal because this is what usually the textbook teach. If you still remember, is something like this. This is what the textbook teach. So basically this is what the textbook teach. Okay, this is the picture. So how, let's say I ask how to test reactive metal. So maybe if you don't know, you just go Google. Maybe you type ways to test reactivity of metal. Then you can do like that, and of course you can read you can see the picture, you read that will be the best. And because nowadays you cannot just depend on the textbook, you need to find more thing and learn. It's not like last time. Malaysia always think that I don't want to say Malaysia some people think that the student always learn from what the teacher say, but nowadays learning is different. Learning, you need to not only learn from book and teacher, but you need to learn by yourself. So Google is very good. Last time we don't have this type of learning. Now we have. That's why I also teach student to teach me. Not only I teach student, so need to teach me, because now is 2021, next year is 2022. Our society has changed very much, where some students are even more clever than teacher. Correct or not? So ways to test reactive metal, you press image. Usually you press reading but for me I press image, because when I look at the picture, I know what is it about. Okay, so I prefer just now one, reactivity of metal. Okay, let's say I press in the Google how to test reactivity series. Of course you read you read, this one is better. But I put in image so I can teach. Okay, so usually school will teach you this one. They put this, then they put the metal X, metal Y, metal Z, and more fire means is more reactive, less fire is less reactive. But what are some other way? Some other way, maybe you can do like you can put in the water. If more bubble coming out means there are more. So there's still another way. You can put in the water, and more bubble means coming out more. Or what is this? Okay, so this is one method again. They put the metal into the water, into the acid, and see how it react. Of course, again, more bubble means they are more reactive. And maybe you put a fire up here, then of course up here can burn it can burn the fire. If more reactive, it will usually produce hydrogen gas, and less reactive, actually it either produce too little or very slow. A few way you can test or you want to use this method, or this one is put in the acid so you can see there's a lot of bubble. So basically I say that easy one will be this one you learn. The second one will be you want to put in the acid or you want to put in the water. So remember, when you put in acid, then got the sound, then it will jump. Okay, so these are the few way. Okay, so now, so there are one of the way to test, but basically this is still the same. Because here is a metal cube, and we need to roughly know what is this metal cube, and we need to know this one. So we want to make hydrogen gas. When you look at this picture, we want to make hydrogen gas, and we want to see how the gas react with the metal. Okay, either we want to put it okay, so this one is a metal, and I don't know the metal, but now we already know lah, of course, we already know the reactivity series, but usually the question will ask something like this lah. Metal X, metal Y, metal Z, metal ABC, whatever lah. Then they will ask you what is X, what is Y, what is Z. Let's say they put here more fire, less fire, okay, fire, something like that. Okay, but we know the answer already. The answer is something like this. Of course, if you got potassium, must be potassium will be the highest. Okay, so we know this is hydrogen, and this is the metal one to put in. This Q is actually zinc. Okay, because zinc plus sulfuric acid, you get hydrogen. So eventually we get the hydrogen gas, same like the okay, that this one that we see. So basically this is the one that produce hydrogen gas, and we see the reaction metal with hydrogen and see whether it's glowing or more fire at here, or we can use back the textbook. So this is the textbook that we usually learn. You can heat up potassium manganate to produce what? Okay, so of course is to get oxygen. If you burn this, then you get the oxygen, and the oxygen will go through the metal filling. I don't know lah, the question usually will say metal XYZ. More fire means more reactive, less fire is less reactive. Okay, so now we know that already. So of course this one also the same lah, but the only difference is the textbook one is say using oxygen. Now we want to use hydrogen. So it's the same thing lah actually. So now you understand the concept already. What is the function of calcium chloride? Androus calcium chloride. Okay, as a drying agent, 细水 drying agent. Drying agent. So we don't want the gas to, because here got water so we don't want the water to go to here. If not, later here got water and it will affect the experiment. So we don't want the water. So when we look at the picture in the science, we need to understand why they want to do like this. So basically they just want to absorb the water that get the hydrogen gas. This is dry hydrogen gas. This is wet because here got liquid at here. And if you don't know, as I mentioned, please go and Google. Okay, let's say you press Google function of blah 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 as an economic agent. So this is a you Google, then you understand, then you remember, then you understand science. You don't just do this question, then you don't understand, because when you go to form 4 form 5, they can ask you this function. Of course form 3 they won't ask you this function they won't ask you. And how do we apply this? If I'm not mistaken, you look at the food that you eat, sometimes they got put one packet one, they say don't eat this. I would think that this is androus calcium chloride. Your snack when you eat they got one plastic one, you don't eat. If you eat, then you can die faster. Okay, I think it's androus calcium chloride to capture the water. So the water in your snack won't be in your snack, but your snack will be always dry, so that your snack won't spoil. Or this androus chloride, maybe they use, I'm not sure, they used to put in the cupboard when you go and buy. You remember when you go and buy something like a box one, you put in the cupboard so that the cupboard got no water smell. I don't know, supermarket, you can go supermarket buy or smell buy it's something like that. That there is a sticker. When you open the sticker, it's like sand one, you put in your cupboard, then after very long, inside it got water one, then you throw away, then you buy a new one, because it will absorb the water vapor into the thing, and you won't feel wet in your cupboard, then it won't be smelly, because water is needed by the microorganism to grow. So this one androus calcium chloride. Now we know that even in our daily life, actually we got see something like this, and don't eat this don't eat this. Okay, so now we already know everything already. When we see this picture, we know what is this. When to test the fire, we also know how it produce gas, hydrogen, and so on. Okay, name P and Q. What is P and what is Q? Very good. Okay, so P is a hydrogen gas and Q is zinc. Okay, of course you want to use zinc. You want to use potassium, sodium, magnesium also can because this is metal and you get a faster reaction. But if you put in, later will boom, explode, correct or not? Because it's too reactive. You put metal with acid, but you put zinc is down here. So you want to get something that is less reactive so that you won't get a very fast reaction. You can do by potassium, but it is more dangerous. If you see in the school, usually your school teacher, this three things usually your teacher will only do for you to let you see. Or I don't know whether the teacher will give you or not. Maybe the teacher give you little bit lah. Give you little bit. Give you a lot, then you also can make boom already. What is the next one? State the observation inferred in the type of oxide used for copper oxide. State the observation and inference the type of metal oxide used. Oh, so here is the metal oxide. They put a metal oxide at here. So they already give you the copper, plumber, zinc, aluminum. Of course, we know that most reactive will be the aluminum, copper, lead. I think aluminum is the most reactive one, is it? I put here number 1, and number 2 is kalau nak cari makanan cat besi. After that got zinc, tin, lead, plumbum will be number 2. Plumbum is before zinc or after zinc? Oh, so zinc is number 2. Zinc is number 2. Plumbum is PB, plumbum. English we call it lead lah. I use the word lead. Number 3, and copper is at the bottom. Number 4. So roughly, even though you need to know lah, you need to guess that okay, aluminium is the most reactive one and copper is the least reactive. Okay, and what will happen if we mix aluminum oxide with hydrogen, and what happen if we mix copper with hydrogen? Okay, one more thing we need to know is this thing, hydrogen is at here, correct or not? Hydrogen, this is hydrogen. Let me take another color. Hydrogen can displace the metal down here. Okay, hydrogen can displace down here. I put here correct because hydrogen is above this thing, so it can kick the metal out. Hydrogen cannot kick the thing up here. Cannot kick out because hydrogen is below the reactivity series of the metal. So we call this in oxidation and reduction. Anyway, okay, so for copper, let's see what happened to the copper. So copper, we can say that it will burn. Okay, hydrogen plus copper. Okay, so copper 2 oxide burn brightly. Okay, it burn brightly, and you can say that gas P reduce copper. Okay, it burn brightly because the hydrogen is more reactive than the copper, so it can displace the copper from the oxide. So eventually you get copper and you get water. what happen if I put copper plus hydrogen? So eventually you will get, let's say I draw the equation, copper oxide, metal oxide, CuO. I know this is more difficult, but they ask this question, so I just teach because they ask, but I hope you can understand. If cannot, then you ask question Okay, but this one is not asked in the question, but I just draw for you so that you know. Okay, copper Cu oxide, let's say here is the, because the question already say metal oxide, so it could be copper oxide, zinc oxide. This question they're using copper oxide, lead oxide, zinc oxide, aluminum, so they use 4 metal to test. So if you have copper oxide CuO plus hydrogen gas H2, eventually you will get copper plus hydrogen. Okay, why you get water? Because hydrogen is higher above zinc. Hydrogen is higher than copper, so it kick it out. Okay, so it burn brightly. Okay, let's look at lead. This one I teach easier. Okay, let's look for lead. Lead is also higher. Lead is higher, hydrogen is higher than the lead. Okay, hydrogen is higher than the lead, so it will burn. It also will burn. So I put here, it I say plumbum plumbum 2 oxide burn brightly. Okay, plumbum 2 oxide burn brightly, and we can say that gas P, which is the hydrogen, gas P reduce plumbum. Okay, let's say we want to draw the equation. So it will be lead oxide plus hydrogen, you get lead Pb plus water. So it's the same thing. If you use zinc is above hydrogen. Zinc is here, very reactive, and zinc, and also one more is aluminum, so there won't be any reaction. Okay, so there is no reaction. Okay, there is no reaction. Let me change my pen. There is no reaction, both no reaction. Okay, the metal will not burn. The metal will not burn. Okay, something like that. Can or not? So I think this question is difficult Okay, so 4 and 3 will burn, but 2 and 1 won't burn. How you know? By looking at the reactivity series of metal. Okay, so yep, that is for this question. Anything you want to ask? Okay, no, then we take a short break. Sorry for this one take you so long, but it will be helpful for Form 4, Form 5. This picture you will see Form 4, Form 5 until many time. So it's better now you understand. If you don't understand, please ask and Google it. So because you don't want to understand now, before SPM also you need to understand. So it is still the same thing. Better you understand now. So now we are going to take a short break, and I will see you back by 9:10. So I see you later. Bye bye.